Hi everyone, I'm Maria McLachlan. I've been thinking about making a few videos, each one dealing with a particularly crappy thing that the gender idiots repeat ad nauseum. This is the first, and it arises from when comedy writer Graham Linehan was asked on Twitter to define a chair, and people are still going on about it 4 years later. What inspired this video was the Jammy Dodger reaction to Matt Walsh, which was, of course, the subject of my last video. Let's have a look.
Are you a cat?
No.
Can you tell me what a cat is?
Asking someone to define an animal that has nothing to do with the human concept and language of gender and sex is really not the clever move he thinks it is. I could bring up the example when a well-known transphobe tried to define a chair, and then multiple people pointed out to him that that definition could also work for horses. So well done, a horse is now a chair, apparently.
As I said in my response, Walsh's purpose was to show how dumb gender ideology is, but what was Jamie's point in bringing up the chair thing, other than to show how dumb she is? It was a total non sequitur. For those who don't know, this chair thing dates back to 2018. Screenshots of the initial exchange survive. It starts with this tweet making the absolutely outlandish assertion that there is no meaningful definition of the word woman. The only people who want it strictly defined seem to want to do so in order to exclude people. Oh my God! Of course, it's not about wanting to exclude people, it is that they are excluded by definition. That is what definitions do. They exclude everyone that is not the thing being defined. A woman is defined as an adult human female, and that is absolutely meaningful and extremely important. And of course, it excludes everyone who is an adult human male and vice versa. And both those definitions exclude young children of both sexes, all other animals, as well as vegetables and minerals. We can unpack what the words male and female mean. I've done it in numerous videos already, including the very first one in my transgender ideology awful argument series, so I'm not going to do it in this one. So Graham quote tweets this saying effing hell, and Avery Edison, who I believe identifies as a comedian, responds asking him to define a chair in a way that includes all things that are chairs and excludes all things that aren't. Now, this is the perfect example of the red herring fallacy. Its purpose is to deflect, to divert attention away from the topic, because as Avery Edison knows full well, genderists can't give a definition of the words woman or man which is truthful, meaningful and non-circular. The one they most often give is that a woman is anyone who identifies as one. This, of course, is obviously false. It is obviously circular, and it is absolutely meaningless. It tells us nothing about what a woman is. You cannot know what a woman is from that definition. That's a point that came across very strongly in the Walsh documentary. The cultists cannot define a woman or a man. Anyway, this is where Graham gets into trouble, because he only gives the dictionary definition of a chair. A separate seat for one person, typically with a back and 4 legs. This one is lifted from lexico.com. I would say it's adequate, but not perfect, because it omits to mention that a chair is an item that is designed to be sat on. It is the primary purpose of a chair. And that aspect is missing from all the online dictionaries that I looked at. Merriam-Webster gives the same definition with a slightly different word order. Dictionary.com adds that they often have rests for arms. The Cambridge Dictionary adds a picture of one kind of chair. It would of course be improved by having several pictures of different kinds of chairs, like an armchair, a rocking chair, an electric chair, whatever. One thing it would not show is a picture of this or any other horse, which is what some moron did, and it turned the gender Borg orgasmic. They thought it was a stroke of genius. And then people started posting random pictures of all sorts of things as if they too fitted the description of a chair that Graham had given, which of course they didn't. The fact that you can sit on something doesn't make it a seat, and it certainly doesn't make it a chair. Granted, some things can be brought into service as seats. For example, if you're giving a dinner party and you, for some reason, suddenly realise you are short of a chair, if you happen to have one of these things in your house, it could conceivably be used as a chair by one of your guests for the duration of the party. But if you were to walk into a furniture shop wanting to buy chairs, I guarantee you would not be shown one of these. It could actually be a very convenient chair to have, especially if you're drinking lots, but its primary function is as a toilet. And nobody sits on a horse because they need a seat at that particular moment. You only sit on a horse if you're going to ride it, and not all horses can be sat on even to ride on. Some of the pictures of horses I've seen put up in response to this unbelievably dumb point were obviously wild horses. You want to try using a wild horse as a seat. Good luck with that. Anyway, typical of the cultist, the story of Graham Linehan defining a chair has morphed into something quite unlike what it started as. This is the daftest comment I saw. Never forget that Glinner can't even explain what chairs are. As if Graham had gone, huh? A what? A chair? Pass. In fact, he gave the dictionary definition of a chair. This person is effectively saying the dictionary can't explain what a chair is, self-own. I only wish I'd seen it at the time so I could ask him for his explanation of what chairs are. Here's another. Just seen someone claiming if you can't define woman, you're not a feminist, and I'm reminded of Glinner trying to make the same argument by attempting to define a chair as something with 4 legs on which you sit, except of course he didn't make that argument, and that is not the definition of the chair he gave. The irredeemably evil James Billingham declared that Glinner's divorce was in part due to him announcing loudly that anyone horse riding was really just sitting on a chair. Billingham is such a jerk. I bet he thought that was hilarious. And courtesy of the utterly repellent Not Cursed E, I found this. This will never not be funny. And you will probably never not be an arsehole, dude. This is what he is referring to. A comment from Maya Fulstata about a picture of a baby being born. What a great picture, she says. The answer to all those stupid, how do you know what a woman is conversations. You came out of one. This is not controversial. Now, the answer that the simple-minded Not Kirsty found hilarious was a picture of a wardrobe or closet, whatever you want to call it, saying, behold a woman. The intention was to suggest that Maya was defining a woman as anything you can be in and come out of, like a wardrobe. This guy apparently spends time in wardrobes and nobody thought that worthy of comment. He could have posted a picture of a house, or a car, or a bus, or an aeroplane, or anything that we've all been inside of and come out of without giving away his weird, pervy little secret. Obviously, Maya wasn't defining a woman. She was saying that we all know what a woman is in reality. Wardrobes do not give birth. No, they don't. Of course, some pea-brain has to make it all about the trans. I can never work out to what extent the TERFs are just willing to throw childless women under the bus to harm trans people. What? And to what extent they're actively prejudiced against them but try unsuccessfully to hide. How bizarre! How is it possible to think that women desperately trying to fight against our erasure and dehumanization and hang on to our boundaries, and the only word we have that defines what we are to the exclusion of all others, are throwing any women under the bus? I just can't. Anyway, it's time to let this ridiculous define a chair trope die. The reasoning behind it is total bollocks. Here's an example from 2021, 3 years after the damn thing started. Someone saying, the whole point of the original question is that it is impossible to define anything in a way that is both simple and comprehensive. It's on him that he took the bait. Bullshit. Firstly, the original question did not ask for a simple definition. Graham could have gone into great detail defining a chair, leaving even someone who had never seen a chair before in no doubt as to what one is. As for it's on him that he took the bait. What bait? He answered a straight question with a straight answer, and then people tried to pretend that his answer didn't work when it did. The whole episode and the repetition of it over the years since is just another example of trans cult dishonesty and desperation to avoid engaging with the truth that women and men are adult human females and males, and no other definition makes sense. Don't let them divert attention away from the truth. That's all. Thanks for watching. Bye.